All right, let's do it like this. If he's still on stage next year, we're going to cascade and do the wave, but instead of doing the wave, we're going to scream Shawn Ray in unison at the Mr. Olympia. If he's still there, whether that's at the press conference or on stage, but if Shawn Ray is still there, it's just the whole audience. Shawn Ray, Shawn Ray.
You know,
Do you see Fuad Abiad and saying that there needs to be a blood test every 3 months?
I was screaming at my phone listening to that, saying it's not gonna fucking work. You can't do blood work. You just can't. There's so many variables, too many different people, too many different times. But what you could do is the heart stuff. You could ask a mandatory calcium score.
The imaging
you could do the imaging. There's because that's what's creeping up on people and making and taking people out in the middle of the night. It's not shitty blood work. That doesn't creep up on you and take you out in the middle of the night. It's the heart stuff.
No, that's over years. Yeah,
it's heart stuff or diuretics before a show. So
plus, no doctor's gonna write off on the blood work, which is always fucked.
No, they're gonna say
even
he was saying, if your
perfect.
blood work is in acceptable, healthy ranges, then you can compete. When has any bodybuilder had blood work in a doctor's healthy ranges? You can't say to a doctor, "Oh no, but this is our bodybuilding standards. This is what you've got to sign off on."
Yeah,
it's going to go. No, there's healthy and there's not healthy. You're all here or here or here.
I mean, otherwise I'd be out of a job.
No one will compete. There'll be no bodybuilding.
Yeah, otherwise I'd be out of a job because a lot of guys come outside of their doctor to me. Yeah. Say, hey, is this still acceptable for?
Well, doctors would be out of their jobs as well by signing people off with shit blood work. Yeah. They're not going to go against what's the doctor's thing? They sign something where they can't. I don't know what it is. But whatever, the doctor's code, they're not going to break that for a tiny minority sport like bodybuilding.
Hippocamptic. Oh no! They're going to say you need to stop all your drugs and
stop bodybuilding is what they'll say.
Bring your body weight down and that kind of stuff. And
that's silly. I can't believe they actually had that conversation for so long. It was driving me fucking nuts. I was like, this is ridiculous.
2 podcasts.
Yeah, two podcasts. Jesus Christ! And I was just listening. I was listening to Ian, and I'm like, just listen to the. He's the only guy speaking any fucking sense here. I was like, for Christ's sake, it's just ridiculous. Do the scans, get your calcium score test twice a year. You can make that mandatory, and that itself. Well, you can try and make it mandatory, but you could say, look, if you don't provide your heart scans twice a year, you're not.
The problem with the CT scan is that, right, especially with contrast, so. The CT scan is a lot of radiation, and you shouldn't be doing that too often. And then the MRI with contrast is the contrast can also be kidney toxic. When I went into the MRI, I had to sign a waiver. So if I ever get kidney problems, I can't blame the hospital for administering. I can't remember what the name is. It's a contrast, and right, or galonidium, something like this, right? Shows up on the fMRI machine.
Oh, the shit they pump into you first.
Yeah, so they inject the adenosine triphosphate, right, to make you hyperventilate and to open up all the capillaries, right, to open up the blood vessels, and then they inject the galonidium, I believe, right? Probably mistaken.
That's like a next level, extremely accurate test, though, right?
Right. So what's do frequently?
But what's the visual one? Just like a echocardiogram.
So you have an echo, right? You have the EKG and the ECG. You have an echocardiogram and an electrogram. The one is with all the nodes.
Yeah.
And then you can do that for 24 hours. That's or 48 hours. It's a 48-hour Holter monitor just to monitor your heart rate. And then you have the ultrasound. Right, they also call it an EKG, and they'll check from several aspects to see how your ejection fraction is. And then you have the MRI or an fMRI, that's a little bit more detailed. And then you have the CT scan, but you can also do a calcium score here in your neck. There's a big vein here where they can assess how much calcium you have. But with this test, there's a little bit of a restrictive issue that there might be calcium passing, right? So you need to be fasted. or it might be calcium stuck to the outside of the artery, and they can't discriminate between the calcium that's just passing or stuck in the artery. So you might have a calcium score of 10. Is the calcium that's just passing through the bloodstream, or is the calcium stuck in the artery? So, and listen,
we're never going to get it just right, but
you will never get it right because people will cheat. They'll put their brother in the MRI machine. Dude, I'm up until now I'm not vaccinated, right? And I know people in the medical field, and they say, yeah, you can just take my blood for the antibodies, and then you can travel. There's always a fucking way, dude.
There's a way past it all.
There's a way past it all. Plus, I've been helping athletes beat the drug test for years. And the shit that goes beyond that. I mean, plus you have people and everybody has a price. So there's no way. The only way to do it is if you change the judging. I start rewarding physiques like Regan Grimes.
Yeah.
Right? And you mark all the guys down with oily delts. I'm not going to name any names, but there's plenty of guys with delts that are 10 times bigger or biceps that are 10 times bigger. And you just have to mark them down. So the standard gets changed. But then the competition level gets watered down because now you're rewarding athletes that are a little bit smaller, maybe a little bit better shape, but don't show up in phenomenal conditioning.
Yeah.
And or you do a weight class for open. But then, of course, you're making weight with diuretics also becomes an issue.
Yeah, well,
I think there's
but
no
then it
way,
comes down like
no
what
Ian
was saying. At the end of the day, it's your own responsibility. It's your own responsibility. Yeah. You can't point fingers and blame anyone else. Unfortunately, there's situations. Shawn's situation a bit different. Mm-hmm. You know, the guy is probably one of the healthiest bodybuilders that you're going to come across based on, what he was using, the amount of stuff he wasn't using. You know, the guy was pretty much natural most of the year round, and he was a transformation freak. He was a genetic anomaly. But you would take into account everything that he's been through since, 2018.
No, that accumulates. All that stress.
And that's worse than anything you can inject into yourself.
Yeah.
Like Chris Aceto said, the guy died from a broken heart. And
no, I can see that.
The amount of stress that guy went through, I don't know. I can't even try to understand it, but it's a big loss. Such a nice guy. He was the second pro I've ever met when I went to Manila.
You met him in the Philippines, right? Yeah, you met him in the Philippines.
I did his show in 2019. Right. Such a great guy, really good guy. And that that was one of the freaking worst days of my life. That 24 hours. Oh my God, I went through hell and back. Yeah. But he picked me up and he made me feel pretty good about myself at the end of it. So he was a bloody good guy, really nice guy. We had a conversation for about half an hour in amongst the hustle and bustle of backstage bodybuilding, and he didn't flinch. He was asking me questions about China, how I ended up in China, my story, blah, blah, blah. And we just had a normal conversation like you would do at a bloody bar. And he was
I think he was a huge fan of bodybuilding, and it doesn't matter which level you were at. If you like bodybuilding, he would give you the time,
Yeah, well, now we were hearing about a lot of the stories that people didn't know about him from like Stan and Chris. He was showing up at people's amateur shows, to cheer him on and stuff. People that never would have expected it, and he's just a good guy. Really, another very sad loss for the industry, unfortunately.
No,
but there is, for any of you who hasn't seen it, there's a big GoFundMe for his daughter.
I think they closed it. They moved it from Chris Psycho Lewis to Guy Sister Nino, and then the family asked them to close it because Shawn had one or two brothers or something. So their brothers asked them to just close the GoFundMe for now, and then whatever you do in Shawn's name from now on, please pass it through the family. So I think Guy Sister Nina will withdraw the funds that have been donated so far, and they give the proceeds or the total amount to the family. Then they'll have to see. Yeah. So
fair enough.
Yeah. Fair enough. So maybe in the future there'll be some sort of memorial stuff, right? It's because I believe he was struggling quite badly financially at the end, right? It's just from rumors.
It couldn't work, all the sponsors, everyone dropped. Couldn't work, couldn't compete. They fucked him.
No, but that's why you always got to make sure that you have income outside of the sport, because it can be taken away, right? Whether you have an injury or you get sick, or like you need additional income. You can't just solely rely on bodybuilding, right? So whether that's stock or cryptocurrency or meal prep company, you got to find some way to make money outside of your fame, because the fame will never last forever, right? People get bored of you, and especially if you compete, if you don't keep winning, right, they'll just go to the next guy that keeps winning. So it's a very tough and competitive field, Like, for me, there's not so much competition, right? There's not so many educators. There's maybe 10.
Yeah.
It's literally like 10 educators, good ones, 10. But for the athletes, there's so many, there's so many athletes.
I'm a dozen now.
Yeah. So it's, in that sense, it's something I would advise everybody, just focus on your revenue streams. Because some will dry up and some will, right, Gorilla Mind, there you go. That's a solid revenue stream right there.
Boom, there's a sale on right now. Get to gorillamind.com.
Exactly.
Boom sale. Black Friday sales coming soon. It's going to be massive.
Next week it's going to start.
Watch our moments. Watch Steve's moments. Watch my moments. Watch our posts. It's all coming. Good deals.
Anyway. A lot of buy two, get one free deals. So check it out every day.
Yeah,
and then we'll all post it when it's ready, and come early because it might sell out again.
Yeah, well, it probably will. Yeah, so have your alarms set and have your basket full and ready to go. Ugh, I don't know. If I kind of want to get into it, but at the same time, I don't.
We should. We should.
So infuriating.
We should, man. This guy is like more negative and more negative and more negative. And
how hated do you need to be to lose your job?
I know. I think Geister Nino is going to knock him out, and will
hope so.
Disappear by himself.
It's nothing. When was the last time you ever heard anything positive about the guy from anything he's done in his job? I mean, again, Jake Wood again had to tell him, like, fucking apologize. You can't say shit like that. He went off on him again about this. Mm-hmm. About his interview. I mean, surely they're going to just sign him off now. Better. Surely they can.
They better.
Because
get Fouad, Abiad, and Dennis James as the presenter.
Yeah, fine. Everyone will be happy with that. I mean, I've got a feeling it's going to start affecting live stream pay-per-views because people fucking hate him that much. They don't want to listen to that guy fucking talk. And now
he's got a Hawaii show.
90% of the people backstage or at bodybuilding shows are going to hate the guy's guts. So he's not going to be able to show face anywhere without getting so much shit.
All right, let's do it like this. If he's still on stage next year, we're going to cascade and do the wave. But instead of doing the wave, we're going to scream, "Fuck Shawn Ray," in unison at the Mr. Olympia. If he's still there, whether that's at the press conference or on stage, right? Bob Ciccarello is still decent enough. He can stay, right? He has his flaws, but at least, his suit looks nice. So, but if Shawn Ray is still there, just the whole audience, fuck Shawn Ray. Fuck Shawn Ray. Until he's out. Until he's out.
Do you know what? It wouldn't take much to make that happen. That would take one little Instagram thing to go viral, and everyone there would fucking do it, and that would be it. And we just keep doing it until he's out, until he's gone. I was actually, he's got his the Shawn Ray Classic Miami show, Hawaii or something like that coming up. I was like, I wish I was in the States because I would just go and do that. I would just go I would do it. I would go and do the show, but I would just stand on stage and not fucking pose and not do nothing and just stand there and not budge and not move and then just start chanting, "Fuck Shawn Ray" on stage until I'm literally picked up by a bunch of security guards. But that would be guaranteed to go viral.
Of course.
I might get banned for a couple of years or something, but I really think, the Manions, Jake Wood, they've got to listen to the audience now. It's gone too far. Everyone's had too much. Everyone's had a fuck enough of this guy. Guy's an absolute pleb. Fucking waste of oxygen. He really is. He's irrelevant. He's a negative, horrible, fucking jealous, fucking bitter prick.
Yeah, and he doesn't follow the sport, so he doesn't know what's going on.
Doesn't even know people's fucking names, can't pronounce names, doesn't know anything. He doesn't even do his job well. You know, he doesn't put any effort into his job. Fucking asshole.
So Dennis James and Fouad Abiad, those two,
great.
Them, you know, pay them, you know. I don't understand why they didn't keep Dennis James on. There must be something going on there. Yeah, or Shawn Ray cock blocking Dennis James.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
He's probably, like the multiple paid people say that John must have some dirt on the IFBB. You know, it's just, you let me go, I'm going to expose. But then again, who would listen to him at this point?
Solid contract or something like that for a long period of time.
Yeah, 10-year announcer deal. But who would listen to Shawn Ray, you know? Plus the IFBB, if they want to get rid of somebody, they'll get rid of somebody. You know?
I think they really have just got. Everyone's just got to boycott him. Like, I'm. Don't get me wrong. I don't like this cancel culture bullshit, but some people deserve it. Some people need fucking canceling. You know. And that was the last straw. That fucking interview. What was Dave Palumbo thinking as well?
He's getting old too.
Why the fuck would you get? Why would you get him on to do the first? To do the first interview after, why Shawn Ray? Well, I don't understand. Like, they all grilled him on the memorial, whatever it was, the remembrance video. They grilled the shit out of Dave. You could see he was really uncomfortable, and then he took the video down. But yeah, I think he regretted that pretty quick.
No, Dave doesn't fucking regret, dude. It's everybody says he's a fucking snake also. So it's I actually met Dave in Holland after FIBO, like briefly in the street. He's a character.
Is he another one of these? Just I don't know what to think about him. It's kind of his channel is turning into getting a little bit of a bad rep for the journalism side of it and the reporting. And
I unsubscribed. Like he had Leo on a while ago, right? And he cornered him about Amin. I don't know. Amin was literally just causing people to die, you know, by charging them fuck a lot of money for ibogaine, and they had to wait to collect the money, and then the guy died, you know, overdosed.
Yeah, so, I heard the stuff Leo was talking about. I unfollowed. I unsubscribed after that.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I hadn't watched much of his videos in a long time, to be honest. So I was like, I'm not really missing out here.
Well, you know, you're not learning anything, you know, and it's only drama now.
So it's just, every time you tune in, it's just like 4 old guys just ranting and bitching. You know, it's just.
I think Aceto needs to move on because it's not good for his reputation either to be associated, because he's still coaching people, high-level clients. Respect. Yeah, Aceto gets a lot of respect. Everybody loves that guy, you know. He's fucking funny as hell, and right, if you
down
want
to earth, says it like it is, good guy.
Yeah, if you want to model your coaching, which I did, you model it after Chris Aceto, you know? You do what works.
One of the OGs.
And there's no cookie cutter shit, you know?
Yeah.
So
this is what you do. How you doing? Check in. Thumbs up. Do the same. Yeah. Talk to you next week. Love it.
And otherwise add some steak, you know? You need some steak. Something like this.
Add 3 cookies.
It works.
Go eat 2 burgers.
Yeah. And you're like, what?
Hey, the guy, you can't knock him. He knows what he's doing. And I mean,
he's one of the best.
Talking of Chris Aceto, who did he, Rafael Brandao?
Rafael, he was a little bit flat at the last show, but he was in good shape.
But he's only had a very short time to train and prepare, right?
Yeah, because he had COVID.
Yeah, COVID, and then he had some health issues before that. And I'm just glad to see he's still got that shape, still got that flow.
Yeah.
You know,
so if they keep rewarding physique like this, you know, Rafael Brandao and Regan Grimes and what's his name,
Samson
the black guy, those 3, just physiques like this, just keep rewarding it, and the sport will change.
Yeah, well, there's nothing but positive feedback in the comments of most of these last 3 competitions. You know, people are liking it. People love those physiques.
Yeah,
there's no controversy. I mean, obviously, there's always people that like and don't like the big mass monsters. I like it personally. But you know, that always causes a little bit of conflict in the comment section. But these last few shows, there was no conflict. There was nothing but like, wow, these physiques look amazing, you know, and
right.
They do look amazing. I just think if they would look
after that.
if you could keep that shape and the flow and the detail and their physiques, you know, and I think if you could put another 20, 30 pounds on Rafa.
No, but so that's where the issue comes from. Eh? You put 30 pounds on this guy and he blows out his waist and then his heart gets enlarged.
What I'm saying is if you can put 20, 30 pounds on him and not blow out of his waist, just keep the same proportions and slowly get bigger, then he would be competitive. But at the Olympia, the reality is he's going to get outsized.
Of course, because there will be freaks there. But if they reward more of this over the freaks, then the freaks don't feel inclined to push the drug so hard. Right?
Oh, I see what you mean. So you're looking for the effect on the actual competitors, not the
exactly. Yeah. So if you reward like a little bit more old school physique, like not classic, so to say, but something with lines and flow, and the waist is not too big, then like they say that every time. The bellies are getting too big. We're not going to reward it. And what do? They put the bellies in top 5. So there's no real repercussions. But then right now you move. It will have to take probably a generation of bodybuilders for it to really change. Right, the new guys that are huge, you can't place them high. You just automatically put them 15th, and then the guys that are coming up with nice shapes, you slowly move them up.
Yeah.
You can't do it in 1 year. You'll have to do it over multiple competitions, and then over time, said, okay, now Regan Grimes is winning, right? Maybe with a little bit more back and a little bit better conditioning, but at least that kind of flow and no side enhancement, right? No oily delts, no oily arms, no bumpy glutes, you know, that kind of stuff. No protruding stomach or horrible skin, you know, all these things. So. But again, it's such a subjective sport, and let's be honest, the judging panel at the Olympia, right, the judges, they're old farts too.
Yeah,
they've been there for 30 years, you know, so they've been there for a long time. You watch the camera from the stage, and you look down, like, ooh, same guys that judged Ronnie, you know.
Yeah.